Even with record heat this year, the cicadas were right on schedule, but a changing climate may mean they show up at more unexpected times.
This year, the cicadas arrived on schedule, but as spring and summer move in earlier, so could those bugs.
Now this year we saw those cicadas come out right on time in late April to early May. Even after a very hot start to the year, temperatures locally came down closer to average right when those cicadas were supposed to come out, but that's not been the case for the rest of the country. We've been tracking more of those earlier season, early summer heat waves across the south and west. Even parts of the deep south have seen those cicadas showing up even weeks earlier ahead of time thanks to this heat.
With the long stretch between cicadas' emergence, it's hard to study their connection to the climate. I spoke with Robbie Deerhoff at the Missouri Department of Conservation on what impacts we're seeing.
The first one that came to mind is just soil temperature. We know that they spend the majority of their lives underground. And so as our soil temperatures rise just a little bit, their metabolism is potentially affected by that increasing soil temperature.
More warm temperatures may also throw off the bug's cycle of emergence. One possible way they count the passing years is through the sap of the trees they feed on, which Deerhoff says can be impacted by climate.
Again, it hasn't been totally proven, but let's say that is true. We've had some late freezes in Missouri. In the last 5 years, there's parts of the state where I know we've seen trees have to fully leaf out again for a second time in the spring because they were totally damaged by a late freeze. So if the cicadas in those areas counted that as another year when it really wasn't, then they could come out of the ground out of sync.
Researchers also say those cicadas could go from every 17 and 13 years to 9 and 13 years, so becoming more common in a warming climate. Reporting for tonight's ABC 17 Storm Track Climate Matters, I'm meteorologist Nate Splater.